Saving capitalism. That's the focus of tonight's angle. In the 1980s, it all seemed so simple and cool.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit.
Well, that movie came out in 1987, the same year that on October 19th, the stock market dropped, about 22% one day? Now, a few days before that, the Commerce Department had announced that the trade deficit in the United States was higher in August than expected. The dollar declined and interest rates rose. So what was the trade deficit in 1987? Well, in 1980, it was only $25.5 billion. But 7 years later, it had jumped to a staggering $159.5 billion. Okay, well, where did it stand at the end of 2024? The trade deficit stood at a jaw-dropping $1.2 trillion. Yeah, with, by the way, the largest deficit ever recorded with China at $295.4 billion, followed by the EU, Mexico, Vietnam, and Ireland. My friends, this is unsustainable. The shocking trade imbalance, which helped make Wall Street titans very wealthy, has also built Communist China's military into a true rival of the United States. It allowed China to invest heavily all across the globe in rare earth refining, in advanced space weaponry, in robotics. And they're catching up at a delirious pace in the AI race, despite export controls. That was vexing, by the way, to Gina Raimondo in the Biden administration even. And Trump understands that all of this combined is an existential threat to the United States.
Become a rich country because of people, again, that were in the White House that allowed this to happen. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year they'd make on us on trade, and it shouldn't be that way. And we're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do this, what I'm doing. And I'll tell you what, it's an honor to do it because we have been just destroyed. What they've done to our system, if we can make a really fair deal and a good deal for the United States, not a good deal for others. This is America first. It's now America first.
We have one shot at this, he said. That's the banner. That's it. Well, in other words, our manufacturing, our middle class, especially non-college educated Americans, are getting clobbered. They have been getting clobbered. Because as we become more reliant on foreign-made goods, we sell less and less to those countries. Factories close, and American communities are flattened. Like what happened when 1,200 workers were laid off when the Belvedere assembly plant was shut down in Illinois. The manufacturing moved to Mexico.
You don't know how much you love going to work until you can't go there anymore.
This is my home. And when they told me that we were done, it hurt.
We've got a community of 24,000 people, and there's probably not a street you can go down that somebody's not tied to this plant. We've been here since 1965. It's a good job, provides a great living, and we would just like to see it come back.
Heartbreaking. Now, the good news is that plant is actually expected to reopen in 2027, and a lot of those laid-off workers will be coming back. Got a huge amount of publicity when that happened. But millions of Americans will never be that lucky. Now, remember, when other countries run surpluses, they have more cash over time to buy up assets, including a lot of our assets. That's why Nippon Steel is trying to buy U.S. steel. Trump's taking another look at that, as he should. And it's why Chrysler is now owned by foreigners. And it's why China has bought up much of our land, including farmland and our food companies. Unfortunately, though, we have a lot of elected officials, some of them Republicans, who still think greed is good wherever it manifests itself and however it manifests itself. And they don't understand that Trump's tariffs are not arbitrary. They didn't come out of thin air. They come after decades of deliberate actions by foreign governments to put U.S. companies and U.S. markets at a disadvantage. Now, this poor Senator Tina Smith from Minnesota, she was at a hearing on Capitol Hill today, and she didn't know which end was up on the trade issue. So Trump's U.S. trade representative, Jamieson Greer, tried to explain to her how trade actually works.
This formula that the administration used to assign this so-called reciprocal tariff just seems so arbitrary. I mean, where did that formula come from?
It's straightforward and it's common sense. It came from White House economists, and they proposed that looking at a country's trade deficit is a good approximation of the net effect of the unfairness of the higher tariff rates, the higher trade barriers, the unfair trade practices, the dumping, the subsidies, all of that. And that's how you can capture that.
She kept gesticulating and was very confused in this hearing. Now, if these elected officials don't know the basic facts already on trade, they should go into a different line of work, frankly. And as for the GOP senators hitting Trump's plan, or the Trump advisors throwing darts, look, you can do whatever they want. It's obviously their choice, and there's disagreements on these issues. That's fine. But I might start worrying when you're being praised by the Never Trump crowd, as you were today. The bottom line, you can only save capitalism if our middle class continues to buy into capitalism. But if year after year, they're told, well, you got to sacrifice more, you got to work harder, get another job for less of a return, then why shouldn't they just start voting with the party that's going to give them the most freebies? Where's that going to leave the Republican Party? And if the answer for the middle class is prepare to have your way of life destroyed because some Uyghur slave can make a product for pennies on the dollar in China, or some poor Malaysian worker can assemble the solar panels for $3 an hour, then we shouldn't expect this system, the system that we've gotten used to, our capitalist system, we shouldn't expect it's going to be around for much longer anyway. And who wants that? And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.